I'm Aubrey. Standing in my kitchen, the silence is almost deafening. Outside, the world goes on as usual, but inside, I feel a sense of calm that I haven't experienced in a long time. It all started at my sister, Isabella's, wedding. My family is well off. My parents, Richard and Grace, are both successful business people. Richard is a shrewd and somewhat cold-hearted man who values status and appearance above all else. Grace is a vain woman who loves to show off her family's wealth and social standing. They've always doted on Isabella, my younger sister, because she has the charm and looks that they think are necessary to climb the social ladder. I, on the other hand, have always been the quiet, hard-working one, focused on my career in tech. At Isabella's wedding, in front of 180 guests, I gave her a $560,000 condo deed as a wedding gift. It was a beautiful two-bedroom condo with hardwood floors and a stunning view of the downtown skyline in Boston. But Isabella's reaction was far from what I expected. Not the location I wanted, her voice echoed through the ballroom. It was as if she was reviewing a cheap purchase from a thrift store, not a $500,000 gift. I sat there, my jaw tight. People at the tables were whispering. Did she really call it cheap? Someone said behind their champagne flute, and another person giggled. Then, my mother leaned over to my aunt and said, just loud enough for me to hear, well, Aubrey always buys practical things. Practical? This was a prime piece of real estate. I watched Isabella preen, not from gratitude but from a sense of entitlement. She thought she deserved the best and that I was just there to provide it. I didn't argue, explain, or defend the gift. Instead, I looked her in the eye and said, don't worry. It's handled. She smirked, thinking she'd won. But what she didn't know was that 3 weeks ago, I'd hired a real estate attorney, Mr. Thompson, just in case my gut feeling was right. As the DJ announced the cake cutting, I pulled out my phone and sent a single text, execute reversal. Full reversion now. The next morning, while Isabella and her new husband, Ethan, were on their honeymoon flight to the Maldives, I was sitting in my car outside the Suffolk County Administrative Building, sipping an iced latte. Mr. Thompson slid the file across the conference table. All done. Full transfer reversal. The title is legally back under your name alone. They'll get the notice by certified mail today. I signed the papers, and just like that, Isabella's sense of entitlement vanished. On my drive home, my phone started buzzing. Unknown numbers. I let them ring. Then came a text from my mother, urgent. Call us back immediately. I ignored it and drove to the condo. The sun was shining through the floor-to-the-ceiling windows, and I sat on the balcony, recalling Isabella's fake laugh from the night before. She really thought I'd let her disrespect me like that. By noon, Isabella's new mother-in-law messaged me on Facebook. The title company is saying the unit is not in her name. Is this some misunderstanding? I screenshot it. For the first time, they were the ones scrambling for answers, and I hadn't even started speaking up. In the evening, Isabella got Wi-Fi at the hotel, and the screaming began. She called me 9 times. Then my mother, father, and Ethan also called. The group chat was on fire. Sis, what did you do? They're saying the deed is invalid. Fix this now. You embarrassed our family, they demanded. I didn't reply. Instead, I screenshot every panicked message. For the first time in years, I felt calm. This wasn't revenge, it was a correction, a way to restore balance. The next morning on their honeymoon, instead of room service champagne, they got the certified notice at the front desk. Isabella texted me, Sis, are you out of your mind? We already told his family it was ours. Her mother-in-law also texted, You humiliated her. Fix it. I replied, respect was the price. You refused. Isabella then tried another angle. Okay, fine. Can you at least retransfer it later? Maybe when we're done moving? That made me laugh. She never understood that I gave her the condo in the hope that she'd show gratitude, not because she deserved it. 2 days later at work, my coworker, Lily, leaned over and whispered, "Hey, your sister is having a meltdown on Facebook." I raised an eyebrow. Lily showed me the post. Isabella was ranting about a family betrayal and stolen real estate. There were already 300 comments, half of them asking questions she couldn't answer. Mid-scroll, Lily's phone rang. Her face went pale. "Someone named your mama's calling my phone." I told her calmly, "Don't pick up." Throughout the day, I received more requests. The title company confirmed they'd received another request from Isabella's side to reinstate her ownership, which I denied. Her new mother-in-law added me on LinkedIn, and I denied that too. My mother texted again, "This is getting out of hand. We raised you. You owe us loyalty." I stared at the words. Loyalty to the people who laughed at my gift? I replied, "You don't get to mock the value of something and then demand to own it." Isabella's last card was to threaten me. "Okay, we're going to tell everyone you betrayed the family. No one will support you." But that was the moment I stopped being the quiet sister in their story. I became the narrator of my own life. The next morning, I got a notification from Ethan's employer. They were verifying his claim of property ownership. I replied simply, "The property is under my name exclusively." 30 minutes later, Isabella sent a voice note, her voice trembling. "They're saying he lied at work. They might suspend him. Aubrey, you need to call them." I typed back, "Your consequences are not my job." Ethan then emailed me directly. "We are begging you. Please transfer it back. Even temporarily. We can pay you back later." They never even thanked me in the first place. Standing in front of the mirror, mascara wand in hand, I realized that for the first time, they were the ones asking, and I was the one with the power. 3 weeks later, I attended a Women in Tech mentorship gala downtown. I was wearing a crisp navy blazer, my hair slicked into a low bun. At the lobby bar, I felt a familiar energy. I turned to see Isabella standing 10 feet away. She had no makeup, dark circles under her eyes, and her hands were shaking as she held her bag strap. Her voice was a whisper. "Aubrey, please. I don't want the condo anymore. I just want you to talk to me." I could see it wasn't remorse. It was hunger for access again. I held my glass and said softly, "You don't get to come back because your audience left." She asked, "What do I do now?" I took a deep breath and said, "Grow without me." Then I turned away and walked towards the theater doors, where women who respected value waved me over. The next morning at the office, my inbox was filled with angry messages. Isabella's new mother-in-law emailed, "We expect you to restore the property transfer today. This is humiliating for our family." My mother sent a voice note, "You're acting like a criminal. This is emotional cruelty. You're destroying your own sister." But what they didn't know was that 48 hours before the wedding, I'd hired a compliance firm. My lawyer called and said, "We found irregularities in their paperwork, forged income statements tied to your name." I forwarded the entire file to the DA's office. Later, my attorney texted, "Case accepted. Proceed." By 4 p.m. The panic was visible online. People edited their wedding photos' captions, Ethan deleted his post about property ownership, and his mother made her profile private. That evening, I dimmed the lights, lit a candle, and cooked myself dinner. Around 9:40 p.m. My Ring doorbell alerted me. Isabella was on my porch in her honeymoon dress, mascara streaked, hair frizzed, and shoes in her hand. Ethan stood behind her, embarrassed. She knocked, first timidly, then louder. "Aubrey, open the door. We need to talk." Her voice cracked. She tried again, "I didn't mean it. I was just showing off." Ethan stepped forward and said, her parents are furious. Mine, too. We need this resolved before Sunday. They already announced to our guests that the condo was ours. I stayed silent inside my house. Silence isn't weakness, it's the removal of access. I let them stand there until the porch light turned off at 10 o'clock. Then I texted Isabella, "You laughed at the value. Now you get the value of that laugh." As I watched the screen with no typing bubbles, I felt the weight of power in my hands. For the first time, I was in control of my own life, and I knew I'd never let anyone take that away from me again.